Sean Diddy Combs is saying he's sorry 2 days after a video exclusively obtained by CNN shows him beating Cassie Ventura inside a hotel in 2016.
That this is the end of the Diddy story, as we know.
Get ready for a jaw-dropping update shaking up the entertainment world. Sean Diddy Combs might just be clawing his way out of a legal mess that seemed impossible to escape. Yes, the same Diddy who's been under intense scrutiny with a whirlwind of allegations and accusations over the past couple years. Just when it seemed like the walls were closing in, the tide appears to be turning in his favor. Is this the moment that changes everything for him, or is it simply the calm before another storm? Strap in. This roller coaster ride is far from over.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
Here's the latest tea. Diddy just scored a huge win in court, and it's got everyone talking. A New York judge has dismissed several major claims in a high-profile lawsuit filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. If you've been following this drama, you know Lil Rod made some explosive allegations against the music mogul, accusing him of misconduct and impropriety during their work on Diddy's project, The Love Album, Off the Grid. These weren't your average industry complaints. No. These were serious, scandalous claims that painted a dark and disturbing picture of what allegedly went down behind closed doors. The plot thickens.
This, along with Cassie's lawsuit that you talked about earlier that was settled, reads a lot like what we saw in the R. Kelly case in the EDM.
But hold up. Things aren't as clear-cut as they seem. In a shocking twist, Judge J. Paulin didn't back all of Lil Rod's accusations. In a 31-page ruling, the judge dismissed several major charges, including racketeering and breach of contract. Why? The court found the evidence just didn't hold up. According to the judge, Lil Rod failed to prove that he was harmed by any violation of the so-called R Act. And as for the payment dispute over Lil Rod's work on the Love Album, that got tossed out too. The court decided there was no proof that any alleged non-payment was connected to broader wrongdoing. Ouch.
It's very scary for myself, and, it has me worried about my kids and, just sleeping with anxiety.
The drama surrounding Diddy just keeps getting wilder. In a jaw-dropping court decision, a New York judge handed Diddy a major win, dismissing several key claims in a lawsuit filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. If you've been following the saga, you know the allegations were explosive, painting Diddy in a seriously questionable light. But this twist has left people shocked, especially when the judge ruled that Lil Rod's evidence didn't hold up. The most significant of these dismissals was related to racketeering and breach of contract charges. The judge found that Lil Rod failed to prove he was harmed by any violations of the so-called R Act and rejected his claims about not being paid for his work on the Love Album, Off the Grid. According to the court, there was no evidence that any alleged payment issues were connected to broader misconduct, but that's not all. The judge also dismissed emotional distress claims, describing them as too vague and generalized to stand up in court. Basically, Lil Rod's team didn't provide enough specific evidence to back up such serious accusations. And speaking of his legal team, things weren't looking great there either. Lil Rod's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, got hit with a major setback too. The judge criticized his filings, calling them riddled with inaccurate legal statements and inappropriate personal attacks on the opposing counsel. Yikes. Blackburn, however, is keeping his head high, telling Rolling Stone that a win is a win and that the real battle is just beginning. He hinted that the next phase of the case, involving discovery, could reveal more, but here's the kicker. This doesn't mean Diddy is completely in the clear. While a large chunk of the case has been tossed out, some of the more salacious allegations remain. In particular, claims of inappropriate conduct and questionable behavior have been allowed to proceed, including accusations under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. And get this, these claims don't just involve Diddy. They also point the finger at his chief of staff, Christina Coram. According to the lawsuit, Lil Rod alleges that he was coerced into uncomfortable situations, even being transported across state and international borders for suspicious purposes. It's heavy stuff. And the fact that these claims are still moving forward means this legal battle is far from over, but the drama doesn't stop there. Enter Kanye West. Yes, he himself. In a move that had people talking, West came out in full support of Diddy on social media. In a now-deleted rant, he accused Lil Rod and others of trying to extort Diddy. Everybody got a story, but they so mad at Puff, West reportedly wrote. He went as far as to suggest that some of the allegations against Diddy were either exaggerated or flat-out fabricated for financial gain. West's public backing has added an entirely new layer to the drama. Love him or hate him, Kanye's voice carries weight in the celebrity world, and his support could either help or hurt Diddy's case in the long run, of course. This has sparked a massive debate on social media. Some fans are rallying behind Diddy, arguing that the court dismissals prove the allegations lack evidence. Others, however, see this as yet another example of a powerful figure dodging accountability. Social media is on fire with heated discussions, whether it's about Diddy's legal team being better at playing the game, or whether the accusations were always as shaky as the judge seems to think. Either way, this case is shaping up to be one of the most polarizing celebrity controversies in recent memory, with the final outcome still very much up in the air. Buckle up. This wild ride is far from over.
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
So, what does this mean for Diddy's future? Is this the start of a major comeback, or just a temporary reprieve in a much larger battle? Keep in mind, this isn't the only case Diddy's dealing with. There are still multiple lawsuits and allegations swirling around him, and some are even more shocking than Lil Rod's. Let's not forget the looming federal criminal charges he faces. Those are a whole different animal and, according to some legal experts, could carry serious consequences if the prosecution's case holds up. While this recent court ruling might feel like a win for Diddy, the road ahead is anything but smooth. In fact, some legal experts have compared it to navigating through hell due to the number of battles he still faces. What's fascinating, though, is how this case fits into the broader pattern of controversies surrounding him. Over the past year, his name has been dragged to the mud in ways even his closest fans didn't expect. From former collaborators to ex-partners, it seems like everyone has a story to tell. And yet, Diddy continues to deny all allegations, maintaining his innocence and insisting that the truth will eventually come out. Is his confidence, or just another layer of his defense strategy? Only time will tell. But one thing for sure, the saga is far from over.
Had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
What's undeniable is that the stakes for Diddy couldn't be higher right now. This isn't just about clearing his name. It's about protecting his legacy. He's a man who built an empire and became a cultural icon over decades. But now that empire feels like it's hanging by a thread. Every new development in these cases could either save him or bring everything crashing down. And let's face it, the core of public opinion is just as crucial as the actual courtroom in high-profile cases like this. Will the dismissal shift public sentiment in his favor? Or will the remaining allegations keep that shadow of doubt firmly in place? Then there's the judge's warning to Tyrone Blackburn. It's rare for a judge to publicly criticize an attorney's conduct, but that's exactly what happened here. It adds another layer of drama to an already chaotic situation. If Blackburn doesn't clean up his act, could it jeopardize Lil Rod's case entirely? Or will he double down and come back swinging in the next phase of the trial? Either way, this saga is far from over, and every move matters.
So I think that those situations lend to maybe some issues with tampering. And I do feel like there are victims who are scared to come forward, including my client. She was very nervous about if he was going to get bail this week. And once I told her, and then come after people, including her and some of the other individuals. And she was very relieved when he did not.
One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. As much as Diddy's recent court victory feels like a win, it's really just a small battle in what's shaping up to be an all-out war. With the stakes so high and the spotlight so intense, every move from here on out will be under a microscope like never before. And with Diddy throwing his support into the mix, you can bet the drama is only going to escalate. What happens next? Let's dive into the next chapter of this roller coaster saga, because trust us, it's just as wild as what we've already covered. If you thought Diddy's legal win against Lil Rod was the end of the drama, think again. All eyes are now shifting to another high-profile battle, one that's even messier. We're talking about Diddy's situation with Cassie Ventura, his former partner, whose allegations against him have been making headlines for months. Just like the Lil Rod case, this one is loaded with shocking claims, unexpected twists, and a ton of unanswered questions. Buckle up. This ride is far from over.
Does he have a shot? I think his attorneys raised some good arguments. I think they raised good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation.
Let's rewind for a second and set the stage. Cassie, who had an on-again, off-again relationship with Diddy for nearly a decade, has accused him of some seriously disturbing behavior during their time together. When these allegations first surfaced late last year, they sent shockwaves through both the music industry and the public. But here's where things get interesting. Almost as soon as the accusations were made, the case seemed to hit a wall. A big reason for this? Evidence that was supposed to strengthen Cassie's claims has reportedly been removed from consideration. The details are still murky, but this development has everyone wondering what's really happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's trying a criminal case in the modern times. A lot of evidence is on electronic devices, cell phone, tablets, computers, things of that nature.
Before you jump to conclusions, let's break this down. Cassie's claims against Diddy are heavy, with accusations of mistreatment, manipulation, and much more. But here's where things get dramatic. Some of the most damaging pieces of evidence have now come into question. Diddy's legal team, which has been firing on all cylinders, is arguing that certain videos and other materials tied to the case aren't reliable. One of the most talked about pieces of evidence is a video that appears to show Diddy and Cassie in a heated altercation at a Los Angeles hotel back in 2016. If you've been keeping up, you've probably seen the headlines about this clip, which has been circulating online and isn't exactly flattering for Diddy. But here's the kicker. Diddy's legal team is claiming the footage has been altered. According to them, the video was edited to make it appear more incriminating than it actually is. They've even accused CNN, the outlet that originally aired the footage, of tampering with it. In a bold move, Diddy's team subpoenaed the network for the original copy of the video, only to claim that it had been destroyed. They allege that what remains has been doctored, timestamps covered, the video speed altered, to make the situation seem more dramatic. It's a wild accusation, and while CNN has denied any wrongdoing, this back and forth only adds more chaos to an already messy case.
Importantly, and most notably, when he walked inside the courtroom, the first thing that he looked at was his family. As soon as he saw his family, he just lit up. Another thing to note, too, is he wasn't shackled, but he was wearing a khaki prison-like jumpsuit when he appeared inside court, and his family appeared on their end very just happy.
And let's not forget Cassie's response. Through her attorney, she's made it clear that she stands by the video, insisting it accurately reflects what happened during that confrontation. Her legal team has called Diddy's claims about the footage disingenuous and expressed confidence that the video will be allowed as evidence in court. But here's the catch. If the video does make it to trial, will it be enough to sway public opinion? Or will the doubts raised by Diddy's defense team muddy the waters enough to create reasonable doubt? The drama's only just getting started.
I'm not going to talk about anything that I haven't said in court or in the papers. These are all great questions, but I'm just not going to get into it. So
can you speak about your concerns about the leak and the video? You have spoken about that before.
I did it in the court papers, and I'm just going to stick to the court papers. As you guys all know, let me just finish. As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than.
While the video drama is grabbing headlines, it's far from the only thing complicating Cassie's case. There's also been talk of her initial lawsuit being settled almost immediately after it was filed. That's right. Just one day after Cassie's legal team made their move, the case was reportedly resolved for an undisclosed amount. While this might seem like a win for her on the surface, it has sparked plenty of speculation about what really went down. Did Cassie agree to settle to avoid a prolonged legal battle, or was there outside pressure to keep things out of courtroom? The timing of the settlement raises more questions than it answers, and for many, it's left a lingering sense of unease. These are some seriously complex legal waters, and the full story is still unfolding. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and updates.